Hello, welcome everyone to Warmer Voices. My name is John Hibbs, and it's wonderful to have you here. So, while people gather, you might like to take a few minutes to put aside your day and be present here. One good way to quickly focus is to notice on the small physical things. Your seat, your breathing, even your feet, if you can wiggle those middle toes. This session has a unique facilitation style. It's a small team that holds a space. What we're doing here isn't performative. It's not about showing up as CEO Bob or content creator Charlie. For the next 90 minutes, you don't have to carry any of that with you. You can just be Bob, or you can just be Charlie. We're not here to make an impression. We're here to make a connection. The session has unique content because you are the content today. We love ideas, we love science, we love strategies and problem solving, but those are for another time and another session. Today is about our awareness and interconnections with time and place and people. Warmer Voices is an experience of presence, of being part of what's happening now. Voices is an experience of our noticing and responding. So let's begin.
I like the idea very much of noticing, because that's what I think makes us more human than the artificial versions of us. Because we don't just notice, but we notice and then we respond, and we respond with our hearts, our souls, our emotions, with so much more than can be manufactured. And that's what we'll be practicing in the best sense of practice today. Noticing opens doors. Picture a house with infinite number of rooms, because that's how much there is to learn out there in the world. And we'll begin in this first session responding to a story that John is about to tell. So think about noticing and responding. And now let's notice how the story makes us feel and makes us want to respond to each other.
Thank you, Dave Fearon. And welcome to you all to story time. So I thought I would tell you the story of the day that changed my life. I was in my early 20s. I lived in Richmond, which is a beautiful borough in London, and I was running my first business. It was called JMH Fitness. I'd always wanted my initials in the title of a business, and I had one. And I was a personal trainer, and I had probably the worst business in the whole of London. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I couldn't win clients. I couldn't make money. It was a real struggle. And then one day, the universe gave me a gift, as it does from time to time to us all, of a new client who happened to be a business coach. And I was so green. I had never heard of a business coach. I thought the idea was stupid. And anyway, this chap became a client of mine, and we trained together for about a year. And then one day he sat me down and he said, "John, we need to have a chat." And I am immediately hit with panic because he's going to sack me. And this is another client I've lost. And he said, "Look, John, I think you're a decent personal trainer. I like you. I think you're a nice guy. You're shit at running a business." And he said, "If in fact you're so shit, I think you're going to go out of business. And what I want you to do is I want you to give me free personal training, because if you can do that, I can give you free business coaching." And I said, "Well, what would that look like?" The guy's name was Les. I said, "What would that look like?" And he said, "You're going to give me 2 free sessions a week, and I'm going to give you 1 free session a month." And I thought, crikey, that doesn't sound very fair at all. And when you make hardly any money, you don't want to give away even more money. So I was really reluctant. But I spoke to my mum, who is very wise, and she said, "John, give it a go. You never know what might happen. So I said yes to Les. And Les taught me two things almost straight away. He said, John, we're going to measure what's going on in your business, and we're going to use those measurements to make better decisions. And two, and I think far more importantly, he told me or taught me that business is all about people and relationships and connections. Fast forward 12 months, I've now got a waiting list of clients. I've got 2 staff who are helping me, and I'm making more money than I knew what to do with. Not stupid amounts, but I'm like 25 years old and I'm making a great salary in London, and I cannot believe it. And I realized that I was actually sustaining myself. I'm looking after my staff. I'm improving the lives of all my clients, and they're going home to their families, fitter, happier, healthier, and they're probably going into their businesses and being, fitter, happier, and healthier in their businesses as well. And I've got this huge ripple effect. And the most amazing thing is that it was an imagination out of my head. A few years earlier, JMH Fitness didn't even exist. And I thought, if this is the power of business, to have these multi-win entities and vehicles where everyone benefits, I'm like, this is the greatest invention ever in the history of mankind. And I'm like, I've been fascinated with business and how they operate ever since. Les has been my business coach my whole life since then, for 25 years. And here he is, literally 2 weeks ago, in Guernsey with me and my mum. And he's wearing this red toga thing, which is like a toweling wrap. And in Guernsey, we have wraps because we go into the sea. We've just been in the sea here. And then we come out and we have this wrap that we put on, which means you can keep nice and warm and get changed under your towel. And it's wonderful to have someone like Les, who has been my mentor and my sounding board and been with me for every single step of my adult life, pretty much. And to have his wisdom and his love has been a real privilege for me.
We're going to take the sensations of that story into our conversation in our breakout rooms, probably 3 people. And the overall question is, what wants to be seen?
So you'll be together for about 15 minutes, and it's really easy. Just share the space.
So this round is the same. You'll notice and respond, but we're going to do it with a different mix of people. And in this round, we're going to add different perspectives. We're going to add a layer in of the noticing. And so while maybe we just talked about what just popped into our heads based on Tom's story, we want to add this different layer of context, right? And the prompt is still what wants to be seen, but the context for this round are in the past, in the present, and possibly in the future. I don't know about you, but Tom's story brought up things for me in the past that I could have done differently, that I probably didn't give voice to in the breakout session. And you always get the choice to remain silent. If you don't want to speak up, if it doesn't feel safe for some reason, you can come back to this room. But we are asking you to go deeper, right? How is this maybe seen through the lens of past, present, and possibly the future?
Well, welcome back. I am honored to move us into round 3. I've been blown away by the first 2 conversations. This is a continuation. The prompt is still what wants to be seen. The context of this round, what wants to be seen for you in your home or with your family? What wants to be seen in your work or your organizations a little bit further out? And then what wants to be seen maybe in the world and or your community? So with that, we're just going to go right into the third round, capitalizing on this wonderful energy.
So the next round we're together, and this one's a little weird because it asks us to consider all the pieces that we've heard within ourselves or with others. If you combine those, sometimes you get a different picture. There's something forming from looking at different pieces of things. And Nora Bateson and her father, Gregory Bateson, talked about the moire. And if you happen to be, if you look it up, you'll find out that it's a fabric that the way the weave of the fabric makes it look like it shimmers. And, it's taken individually, there's no shimmer. Combined, there's something new. So that's really the question we're wondering, is there something new when we combine the bits and pieces that we're hearing today? And I think the answer is yes. For me, I'm not sure I can articulate many of them because it's a very rich set of different perspectives that opened up for me from the different participants.
Thanks, Tom. So I know I have a choice in which order to do it. So I'm going to start with a poem. This is one of my favorite poems by David Whyte. And this is called Sometimes. Sometimes if you move carefully through the forest, breathing like the old ones in the old stories, you come to a place whose only task is to trouble you with tiny, frightening requests, conceived out of nowhere, but in this place, beginning to lead everywhere. Requests to stop what you're doing right now and to stop what you are becoming while you do it. Questions that can make or unmake a life. Questions that have patiently waited for you. Questions that have no right to go away. So I want to say thank you on behalf of Tom and John and Tommy and David for assembling this gathering, for holding the space for everyone, and to everyone else for coming along and playing an active part in creating the warmth in the room and the breakout rooms. I think it's been, for me, certainly a fabulous session. I hope it has been for you. And I really hope that we will see you and your friends at the next session. Thank you very much.